Welcome to Next Chapter Strong. From deadlifts to date nights and everything in between.
We're just a midlife couple sharing what's working for us.
In strength, marriage, and showing up for this exciting next chapter in life. Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for joining us again here on the Next Chapter Strong podcast. Got a topic for this episode that I think will resonate with a lot of people, and that has to do with work, and specifically getting laid off from work and looking for a new job and all the craziness and insanity that goes along with that. So it's going to be a fun one. It's going to be, I won't say emotional for me, but I do have a lot of emotions around it. And
do you?
Yeah, I do, believe it or not. Emotions and opinions. But for those that don't know, and I think I've been pretty open about this, I was laid off last summer, June of last year. Actually, I got the notice on April 15th, so tax day and being laid off simultaneously.
Oh, really?
Is a double. Yeah, it might have been April 1st, so maybe April Fool's.
But you got the notice and then it's...
And then they give you like 3 months before you're officially terminated.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so I was still am actually in software sales and account management. And the company I was with, I had been with for 11 years. And it was my favorite company I had ever worked for. Not that I've worked for dozens of companies, but of the 5 or 6 I've worked for, this was by far the best company, the best people, the best culture, an incredible product. I was very, very happy there. And I thought, hey, this is where I'll finish my career. I'd planned on doing 20 years there and retiring.
Yeah.
So I'd gotten to about that halfway point, and we had been purchased about 7 years earlier by a much larger global company. And they kind of had slowly started to suck the life out of us from a culture perspective. And things were getting worse in that regard, but I still had my people. I was leading a team of really talented people, great people. I had incredible bosses that I reported to. So that was still intact, which I loved. And that was going to keep me there for as long as I could possibly be. But with acquisitions always come change. And a lot of my friends, I think, saw the writing on the wall and left shortly after the acquisition because they probably knew what was coming. I was naive.
You thought you'd be safe?
Yeah, I thought I was. I've been here a while, being 11 years at a software company is kind of unheard of. Usually people jump around every 2 to 3 to 4 years. So I figured I was safe. I had a really high-performing team. We always hit our numbers. No issues at all. I had that job down pat. I mean, I knew every product inside and out. I knew every person within my company that I needed to go to if I needed to help resolve a situation. It was automatic, right? I could talk. You could give me a subject related to that company and give me 5 minutes to prep, and I could talk for an hour about it, no problem.
Do you think your age or your salary had something to do with that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I don't know so much age, but
your salary?
Definitely salary. Yeah, I mean, when you've been there for 11 years, right, and you've worked your way up a little bit, you do become a more expensive employee. That could definitely be it. But what I had realized is that and I hate to say this, but it's true. There's no loyalty anymore in corporate America. I know when my grandfather was working, he worked for Pittsburgh Des Moines Steel for 30 years or so. Like that was just it. You got a job with that company. You worked your whole career.
Yeah.
You retired with a pension.
That was my dad with the water company.
Your dad did the same thing with the water company. My dad, fairly similar experience, although he kind of had that golden parachute moment at the end of his career, which I know affected him a lot.
But the golden parachute is where...
So that's where you've been there for, again, let's say 25, 30 years, right? And they decide that you're too expensive.
Yeah.
That's what it is. And so they realize that what they're paying you, they can pay a much younger individual, 50% less to do the same job. So they give you what's called the golden parachute, just a big severance package, essentially.
Well, then I want you to talk about, too, because I have quite a few friends right now going through it, just the whole, when you're let go, now what? Like the whole job hunting, debacle right now. LinkedIn, what a joke.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. I remember as soon as I got that notice I was being laid off, I immediately went on LinkedIn and started looking for jobs. I mean, within seconds, right? And I'm thinking, okay, great. I'll probably find something in like 3 months. We'll be good to go. Fast forward a year later, and I just looked at this before we came here. I had applied to, which meaning I put together my resume, cover letter, over 300 different job openings.
Really?
300. Most of that was in the first 6 months after I was laid off. So 300. Of those 300, I had 3 interviews. 3 out of 300.
That's unbelievable.
3.
Wow.
1%. Okay. Of those 3, one of them I got an offer from.
That's the offer you didn't take?
It was a lowball offer. I didn't take it. Okay.
Yeah.
So, and this is spending hours a day on LinkedIn, right? Combing through everything that I was qualified for, things that I was overqualified for, right? I'm just going out there. These days, all companies use ATS, applicant tracking system. It's an AI filter that everything goes through first before it even goes to a human. You have to optimize your resume and your cover letter for that system. So I use ChatGPT, I use Gemini. I'm, completely optimizing my resume with keywords in the right format to make it easy for an AI system to parse. Despite doing all of that, I had a 1% success rate. So that gets massively frustrating. Most companies you never hear from. If you do hear from them, it's just a simple auto-generated reply. Hey, we've moved forward with somebody else, right? It's incredibly frustrating. And you very quickly realize that this whole thing this is a sham. LinkedIn.
Yeah.
LinkedIn is social media.
Yeah.
People go on LinkedIn to brag about work.
Really?
To brag about how important they are at work. How
you
important
network with people though?
You can, sure. Everybody on LinkedIn has 500 plus connections, right? It doesn't mean
there's no
anything.
Actual jobs coming from it. I've heard that over and over.
It doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
And it's the way your friends are your friends. The way that I got into my current role was from some people I'd worked with at my old company several years ago. It's who you know. I literally, they reached out to me directly, right? It wasn't through LinkedIn. It was a text. Hey, we have this opening. Would you be interested? Heck yeah, I'd be interested. I know 3 or 4 of you really well. I trust all of you. You're great people. You're talented people. I got that job with 1 interview.
And that right there is the importance of relationships.
It's all about relationships. So this LinkedIn, Indeed, it's nonsense. It is just most of these jobs, and this is my opinion, I don't have proof of this, but I think what companies are doing is they're trying to build a database of qualified applicants. They're just trying to see what's out there. And the other thing that you're up against is that the job market right now, and it has been for several years, it's incredibly tough. Most companies are doing layoffs. They're not hiring. So a lot of this plays into that. But you would see a job that had been posted for 3 days that already had 1,200 applicants for it. 3 days, 12. If you're not in the first 50, forget it, right?
Yeah.
So it's like now you have to check multiple times a day. And I would do that. Check in the morning, check in the afternoon, check it late at night, right? To see if stuff posts on so that I could be one of the first 10 people to put my application in. And even then, I had a 1% success rate. So it's massively frustrating. And you have to understand that, and I hate to say this because I don't know if people realize this, but you are nothing but a number at these companies.
Yeah.
I had a number at my employer. That's what I was. I was a number. I wasn't anything more than that. And when the cost of my number got to be too great, my number is removed and it's replaced with a lower cost number, just meaning a person with less experience that can come in and do that job for less money. I understand the finance and the economics behind that. I get it. But at the same time, these are companies that, we love our employees. We foster culture and openness, and we have this and we have that. We have unlimited this, and we'll take care of that. At the end of the day, if you get too expensive for them or they feel they can do the job less expensively, they will cut you. Yeah. They will not think anything about it. You'll just get an automated email like I got, said, you're done.
That had to burn an email.
Yeah, it sucks. But also, again, when they're laying off thousands of people, they don't have time to call everybody.
Yeah.
Right? So they just send an automated email because that's how much you are worth to them is an automated email. And the sooner people realize this, the better off you're going to be ultimately. And it sucks because there is no loyalty anymore. And I hate that. But you get that gut punch email, you panic, right? You're like, oh my God, I got to go find it. Even though I had been preparing for this for years, not because I thought I was going to get laid off, because that's just who I am. I'm a prepper like that, right? I had been saving money in an emergency fund where, okay, if we need to pay the mortgage and all the bills for X amount of time, I had that money set aside. So I had that. I did get a decent severance that carried us for a little while. So I learned not to panic after a couple of months. But man, that initial feeling of how am I going to provide?
Yeah.
That's that's a tough thing to navigate. And it's very easy to get frustrated and to want to give up. Don't give up, but also don't rely on LinkedIn. Rely on your personal connections with people that you have a close relationship with, people that you trust, right? And that's not your 500 plus people or 10,000 people on LinkedIn. It's the people that you grew up with, the people you went to school with, the people that you're close friends with, the friends that you've developed at other jobs over the years, good friends at the company you're with right now. Those are the people who care about you, who know that you're more than a number, who value what you can bring to the table. And they're the ones that are going to put in that, that employee referral for you. Hey, this person is good.
Yeah, that's great
I worked
advice.
with this person either as a peer or he was my direct report, or I reported to him or her. Those are the people that are going to get you forward.
Yeah. I just got a text last week from a good friend of mine who is the breadwinner in her family. Her husband's kind of starting out in a new career, and she got laid off out of the blue, and my heart just broke for her. I mean, I don't know what I would do, and she's now like, what do I do? And so I gave her that advice. I said, Garrett said, obviously go to LinkedIn, but don't put all your cards in that basket. Start leveraging your relationships. Yeah.
I really wouldn't.
Yeah.
I mean, and
what about headhunters?
I had mixed success with headhunters too. I have had a headhunter. That's how I got the job when Nick was born, working for a car rental company. Mm-hmm. Don't recommend working in that industry.
Car rental? Oh, God.
I learned a lot, but wasn't the greatest career move, but that's okay. Yeah. But even then, even in this process, I was working with a headhunter early on, and they're just completely flaked. I don't know if it was their first time ever trying to place somebody in a role or what it was, but it was, the whole thing fell apart very quickly. So it's easy to get frustrated. It's easy to just want to give up. And a lot of people do, but you can't. I mean, if you have a family, if you have responsibilities, you have got to go out there and you've got to find work. And I eventually got to the point where I took a new position with a new company. This company has a great culture. It actually reminds me a lot of my previous company. And it's got a lot of people from my previous company. So that gives me good vibes too. But I'm starting over again.
Yeah.
I'm starting at the bottom. And I had to accept that I was going to have to do that, because I realized after about 6 months, I'm not going to get that same position. I'm just not.
Kind of a little blow to the ego a little bit.
It was.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd been in a leadership position for 10 years, and I was not any kind of a big, important, corporate bigwig. I was just a director. But I had a great team. I loved working with that team. I loved building the team.
And they loved you.
We did. Three of them just texted me the other day. So Carrie, Heather, and Allie, I totally appreciate this, because this is what made me have this topic. They just sent me a simple text of them having lunch together. And the three of them don't work at the same company anymore, but they still get together. They're all in Southern California. They have lunch together, and man, it brought like a little tear to my eye. I'm like, that just.
I know Carrie.
You do.
Carrie.
I mean, these are good people, right? These are people that I worked with that were on my team for 2, 3, 5, 7 years, and that is the value of loyalty right there within it. It's not to the board, to the stock price and stuff. It's to those people that you work with, that you're in the trenches with, through the highs and the lows. And one of the things that I loved about my team is we would have a team call every, actually a funny story about this, every week. And I was having it on Fridays for a long time. And during COVID, we had this thing called Focus Fridays, right? Where you were supposed to focus. You were supposed to not have any internal meetings on Friday. You were supposed to use it to prep for the following week, right? To just de-stress from the week and prepare for the next week. Well, I thought that was only happening during COVID, right? So 2021, 22 rolls around, I started having my team call on a Friday again, because it's Friday, right? We're all working. So come to find out, no, the company had basically extended that. And so I'm telling some of our other directors, oh yeah, our team calls on Friday. They're like, Friday? You're having a call on Friday? I'm like, am I not supposed to have a call on Friday? No, it's Focus Friday. I thought that ended in,
God,
they're like, no. So I told my team, and they're like, oh, thank God, because they were kind of laughing about it. I'm like, why didn't you guys tell me this? Right?
I'm surprised they didn't.
But I think one of the reasons why is because we have a good time on the team call. I never open the team call with work stuff.
Yeah.
We would joke, one of my guys, Joe, had this brand new car that would break down all the time. I'd be like, Joe, I need an update from you on your car, right? I need to know how that's going. Carrie and her husband had bought a boat. I'm like, let's hear about what's going on with the boat, right? Let's tell me about you as a person. Let me get into your life so I understand you as a person. Because at the end of the day, we're all people. We all put our pants and our shirts on the same way every morning. I'm not better than anybody else. My success is directly tied to their success and vice versa. We're all in this together. And that was one of my biggest things is I need to know you as people. We need to have fun, right? Corporate America is not always fun. Sometimes it's drudgery and it's admin work and it's reports that nobody reads.
I walk by your office sometimes hearing your Zoom calls and I'm like,
I know. Bang head here, right? So I always try to inject humor into it whenever I can. I always try to inject honest relationships. And sometimes even with my one-on-one calls with the team, we would never get to work stuff because it was more important to talk about something that was going on in their personal
I used to
life.
love because you were like the leader of a bunch of women. And so you got all the women drama. Which women in drama, let me tell you, it never ends.
It doesn't, but it's, you know what? That's part of it though, right?
Is,
and that's part of being a leader is just being able to just navigate all this stuff that's going on in everybody's life. Right? And there would be times when I had some of my people going through some very, very intense stuff with their kids or with their significant others. I mean, really like life-changing type stuff. And that's what we would focus on because that's all that mattered. Work at that point didn't matter. My goal was to try to get that person to a better spot so that they could get back to work when the time was right. You know what I mean? I had one of I mean, you know Natalia, right? Natalia wasn't on my team. She was on the team in the beginning. And it was when I first became a leader and she was like, I don't want to work for somebody that's never been a leader before, right? It was like her first reaction.
To you?
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Because Natalia tells you everything. It just comes right out. But she turned into one of my absolute best people ever. She does an incredible job at what she does. She's just incredibly skilled. She taught me a lot about how to be a leader too, but she and I kept our one-on-one calls for years after she left my team. She got promoted to a different thing. We would still connect, right? Because it's about having that relationship.
For sure.
So that's what it's all about to me. And getting that text just brought back everything to the forefront of what's important at work. Yes, of course, the work is important. You have to do a good job. You have to perform at a high level. And that's something that we always did. But if we're going to do that, we're going to have fun on the way while we're doing it. We're going to make fun of ourselves, right? Because we fall on our faces all the time. We're going to make fun of our company because our company falls on its face all the time too. Every company does. We're going to use that as humorous anecdotes when we talk with customers to show empathy. It's just, you make that kind of work fun, but you invest in your people. That's where the payoff is. And those are the same people that are going to turn around and reinvest in you when you need to move on to another job. Whether you get laid off, whether you just decide to make a new career move, it's all based on those relationships that you had with those people.
Well, and I think the same thing can be said for me in my careers. I've had 3 of them, right? Every 10 years, I reinvent myself, I feel like. I was thinking that maybe I'll write a book called The 10-Year Career. But as a teacher,
it's got a nice ring.
It does, right? There might be a book, actually,
Did you steal that?
I might have. I don't know. Let me fact check that.
Right.
It does ring a bell. Maybe the 4-year career or something like that. There is a book, something like that. But mine is the 10-year career. I was an elementary school teacher for 10 years, left that to run my own business for 10 years, went to network marketing for 10 years. I'm coming up on 10 years. Not that I'm leaving the industry because I absolutely love it, but I am at a point where, and this is, you brought this to light, the relationships and the connections that I've been building over the years through teaching, through owning my own business, and through network marketing. I have 3 completely different groups of people and relationships, right, that I rely on still to this day. And, I think I'm at a point now as an empty nester, now that we don't have kids at home. And I was talking to my girlfriend, Christy, about this today. Like, I can't sit there and tell people, oh, you can fit this in the nooks and crannies of your day, right, a network marketing career on top of a regular, 9-to-5 job. I can't tell people that anymore if I can't prove that myself. And so here I am. I have time to build. So I've started 2 new businesses. I'm coaching for Faster Way to Fat Loss, and I have a travel club, and I'm still doing my LifeVantage network marketing, health and wellness, which is my passion, is my bread and butter, will never go anywhere. But I've realized we are at just a different time today with social media. And with selling things online, it's getting harder and harder to sell supplements online. And I feel like it's just kind of one of those roads. It's like, which road are you going to take? Right. And I feel like I can branch out. And if anything, it's going to bring more people to my wellness business. And it already has in a way. And it's been kind of refreshing just to like let go of the handcuffs and of the company. Like, I don't have a boss. I don't have anyone telling me what to do, right? I am my boss. I do have, regulations that I have to follow and certain, things that I have to do, which I do. But at the end of the day, I just think there's so much possibility out there for women. You don't have to be, and men, you don't have to be stuck in the same role, right? I mean, everybody talks about multiple streams of income, yet how many people really have that desire and that fortitude to go out and make it happen?
Very few. It's incredibly challenging, and you brought up a good point too, where you had your teaching job, you reinvented yourself. I think that you've always done a good job of taking a risk, right? Because you see that where you are right now isn't where you want to be, and it's not going to lead where you want to be. So you switch it up and you go to that next thing. That's a risk, right? Now we live in a country and we work in an economic system where risk is rewarded, right? Doesn't guarantee that you're going to be successful, but at least you have the opportunity to do it.
Right.
And the old saying, no risk, no reward.
Right.
You're always a person that's willing to do that. And I think it's exemplary because you have been successful. It hasn't been easy. It's been far from easy.
Yeah.
I mean, you work your butt off and everybody always says, you own your own business. Ask anybody that owns their own business if it's easy.
Yeah.
It's not,
no.
right? But you do have a lot of benefits from that. You're never going to get laid off. You're not going to lay yourself off, right? You don't have to worry.
There are times I want to, yeah.
Yeah, but you're never going to get that very impersonal email.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for your 10 or 20 years. Goodbye. You're no more.
No, but I love that our boys have seen both. They've seen the corporate side and they've seen the entrepreneur. And I know both of our boys do not want to sit in a cubicle all day or be on phones all day.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
They've seen both sides of that, which I think is very beneficial. And there are benefits to certainly working for a big company. The benefits,
yes, for sure,
the retirement plans and things like that are much more difficult when you are on your own.
Yeah.
And we experienced that too. When I wasn't working for that period of time.
Yeah.
Oh my God, the cost of health insurance alone is
crazy.
and the coverage is ridiculous. So there's trade-offs to all this stuff, but getting back to kind of and wrapping everything up here, if you are in that position where you have been laid off or you think layoffs might be coming, don't go on LinkedIn. Don't get your hopes up because it's a fantasy world out there. Reach out to the people that you have good, honest relationships with, people who know you inside and out, people who know your faults, people who know all your strengths and your weaknesses, all that stuff, because those are the people that are going to give you the best recommendation, the people that know you the best, they're the people that have your best interest in mind too. That's how I landed in my new role. That's how you've built your teams, right? And it's fantastic when those people come back around and reconnect with you, even after you've been apart for a little while. That's the true value of developing those relationships at work. So with that, good luck to everybody in the job hunt. If there's anything I could somehow possibly do for those that know me to help out, I'm happy to give a recommendation. And if you want to talk about being an entrepreneur,
I'm your girl.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks.
Thanks for listening to Next Chapter Strong.
If this hit home, please share it, leave a quick review, and follow us on Instagram at NextChapterStrong.
And most importantly, keep showing up strong for what matters most in your life.